Erik Ten Hag's job was on the line, and this is how he set up playing against Villa away at Villa Park. Now, accessories, guys, we've changed, they've improved in the channel, it's crazy. But the stark difference, the main difference between the Manchester United off-the-ball setup was very clear to see. And that main difference wasn't a huge tweak. It was just that what Erik Ten Hag instructed his wingers to do was to tuck in and try and pack the midfield up a little bit. As most teams kind of do in the Premier League, the build-up shape of Villa was clear. They play in a 3-2-5 shape. They have Luca Digne that provides the width on the left-hand side with Jaden Philogene. They have Leon Bailey providing the width on the right-hand side with Cash. It was Konsa to begin with, and he went off for Diego Carlos, Pau Torres, and Barkley and Tielemans in the midfield with Watkins leading the line. And Manchester United set up as they have done. United fans have known for a long time that off the ball, United set up in a 4-4-2 shape. But this difference, this tactical tweak, improved United off the ball. Because what it meant is that although it didn't, like the out balls were always going to be Leon Bailey and Luca Digne on this side here. Yeah, Ten Hag and United didn't mind that too much. It was basically allow the ball to be out wide, but compact the inside, compact the middle. But it was still a lot of work had to be done by the double pivot of Eriksen and Kobbie Mainoo. Because their jobs were to be right in the faces when the press was high by Bruno and Højlund. Their jobs was to be right in the faces of Tielemans and Barkley and not allowing them to turn. And at times, Rashford and Garnacho would eventually gamble to the wide centre-halves. Rashford had his first chance in the game where he nicked the ball of Matty Cash, cut inside, I think it was Ezri Konsa or Diego Carlos, one of them, and had a shot on goal, one of United's rare chances that they did create. But United, I'll be honest, the headline was the lineup. And that lineup was that Erik Ten Hag started with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans in the back line. But both of them played really, really well. Maguire was brilliant in that first half. Johnny Evans was good all throughout the game. And what it meant is that so United's build-up patterns are so hard to really track down because there's so much positional rotation. But Johnny Evans was providing the width. Maguire was a centre-half. And Mazraoui was the right centre-back with Garnacho being the wide player here. But United are a bit hard to track because Eriksen at times wanted to drop in here. Kobbie at times wanted to drop in here. But the main criticism of Ten Hag ball, if you like, is how do you play off the ball? And you could really feel that there was pressure on Erik Ten Hag because the setup was so much more, reserved. It was a much more reserved setup because at times you would see that Mazraoui would be occupied by Jaden Philogene really, really high up the pitch for Aston Villa. And Luca Digne would also be the wide option. But at times Garnacho would even make it a back five with the midfield shuffling along and the forward line shuffling too. So it was really a strict defensive performance. It begs the question, why hasn't Ten Hag done this previously? We know that in his first season when United had some very marquee losses, some big losses in the beginning of the season, Brentford and Brighton early on in his Man United career, he did change his ways and sit in a bit of a deeper block and then allow his team to transition. But United on the ball were really bad. Like there wasn't a lot of chance creation. Bruno Fernandes was losing the ball a lot, very sloppy on the ball, as was Kobbie at times. There wasn't a lot of creation, a lot of great chances created by United. Mainly was just individual things. It was Rashford taking on his fullback and cutting inside and getting shots on goal. The fact that Amad Diallo doesn't see the pitch is crazy to me, which is another interesting one from Ten Hag because he's, again, the smartest attacker that we do have with the most amount of technical ability and best decision making. Xerxes came on the pitch. Didn't really impact the game very much. It felt like he's the kind of player I definitely think needs to start because when he comes off the bench, he doesn't really get into the rhythm of the game. But if he's flanked by Antony and Garnacho, it's not really you're not really going to find the right decisions on the ball. Really, Mazraoui did end up coming off at the halftime, as did Maguire, and Lindelof replaced him at right back, and De Ligt came on as well. Those changes didn't really see much of a change because even Aston Villa were restricted by United's strong defensive setup, but they still did create the best chances in the game. The thing about Aston Villa, from Aston Villa perspective, for me, what they didn't utilise enough was using the spare men, and the spare men in their case was Lucas Digne, because Mazraoui was occupied here. And like I said earlier, if the press was on by United, Kobbie and Eriksen were right on Barkley and Tielemans, The spare men, really and truly, were either Morgan Rogers in these kind of areas who didn't have a great game, or Lucas Dean, if Garnacho was pressing up here. And I feel as though Aston Villa didn't utilise their spare men enough. They could have hurt us a lot, but the context of that is that Aston Villa have come off a big win in the Champions League at home to Bayern Munich. So that definitely plays a part, because some of these players won't be ready to be playing 3 games a week. They won't be ready to be having to deal with that physical and emotional toll that it has on not just your body, your mind as well. But in general, Erik ten Hag's job is still under a lot of scrutiny. It was really a game where you could see that was the case, because he really did set up to try and make sure that they didn't lose. But this is how you do have to set up away at some top grounds. And Villa Park is definitely one of the tougher grounds to play in all of the Premier League. It's right up there, in my opinion, with the St James's Parks, the Anfields, the Etihads, the Emirates, places that are really tough to play. So it's not a lot of positives come from United's performance on the ball. That tactical tweak of making it a bit more narrow of a 4-4-2 with the wingers tucking inside is the only really main thing I saw as a difference for Man United. The selection of Evans and Maguire did raise eyebrows, but like I said, they both had really, really good performances. We'll have to wait and see what the decision is by the ownership, because it does feel like it is getting it's getting to the time where the writing's on the wall for Erik ten Hag, and the whole ownership was on show. So Jim Ratcliffe was there, David Brosworth, Jason Wilcox, Alma Barada, even Sir Alex Ferguson was there. But it felt like a kind of game where Ten Hag knew that his job was on the line. A couple of things to note as well. United fans will notice this as well. There was a bit of heated conversation between Erik ten Hag and Ruud van Nistelrooy on the bench. I don't know if it was major disagreements or just tactical things that they were speaking about. I can't read too much into it. But another thing was that Marcus Rashford, when he came off the bench, when he went onto the bench after being subbed off, said he's lost it. Now, obviously, we don't know who he's talking about. Could he be talking about the manager? Could he be talking about the referee? Could he be talking about someone else? You never know. But it does feel like it is getting to that time where it's the writing's on the wall for the Manchester United manager. Let me know what you guys thought of that game. I felt as though Aston Villa obviously could have taken a bit more advantage on the situation. They didn't end up, because of I'm assuming because of their fatigue in the game, they didn't end up taking advantage of United's weakness as well. But let me know what you guys thought. What's the future for Ten Hag? Should he be sacked? Why should he be sacked? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to do all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time.